Are we live? Have I done it? Yeah, it looks like it. Let's go. Am I insane? That's the question I've been asking myself recently. And I think the answer is yes. But maybe an insane person wouldn't say that. But anyways, I'm going to try to do some stuff with geometry nodes, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, very cool feature of Blender 3D modeling software. I also need to change something about how I'm monitoring my own microphone, so bear with me for a moment. I'm figuring out how am I supposed to do that. Okay, I'll just have to roll with it. So what have I done? Well, I built a sort of tool using geometry nodes. Here I have the star, and wait, turn on the camera, zoom out a bit. Oh, I'm already hitting the wrong button. So I've got this animation right here. And the cool thing about this is that I can change it on the fly. I can add more star points, but I keep it to 5. I can make it thick. I can add rings, so they go in the center like that. I can change the thickness of the star, so like this. Zoom back in again. I can add even more rings, which kind of go around like this. And if I don't like this look, I can actually go for a more kind of less hollow star. I don't know how to call it. The cool thing about this is that the pieces will separate. You can also rotate them around like this. And yeah, that's the other one, other variation. So in keeping with the stars theme, I thought, why don't I make a star tetrahedron, which is apparently a lot harder than I thought it would be. But I'm still gonna try. Alright, enough with that. This is the... Well, what am I actually making? Maybe let me find a video that would accurately explain. I found... Here, let me get a separate window. I found this animation, which is pretty cool. So that's an option. Also found this right here. You also get it in another window. Hold on. Trying to figure out how to do this. Managing multiple windows. Is it gonna give me an ad? No. This one right here is actually really cool. So if I made that in 3D, it would be pretty dope, I think. Yeah. But where I left off here, this here, it looks very complicated, and that's because it probably is. I've really overworked this. I've messed around with a bunch of nodes. These all right here don't mean anything because I was kind of experimenting. I might as well put them in one frame and just turn them off. I'll put these, whatever, just press M. I think that will mute them. No, it didn't, but whatever. So what I've wanted to do is make a sort of traced outline of the different edges to kind of give it cool wireframe effect. And I didn't quite figure out how to make the animation look the way that I want it to. I think this will make more sense if I join this with, oh, it's still separated. Bring it back to this view, actually. I wanted to make it so that the edges are constantly going around in a very hypnotic way, and I haven't quite got the look that I was going for. So I'm just gonna keep trying at this. Maybe it's interesting to somebody. Something which I had thought of while looking at one of those videos is if I rotate this around. Of course I don't see it because I didn't join it properly. Oh, that's actually kind of dope. The way that it goes around itself. Interesting. I had this thing I was kind of doing, which is another experiment. Just gonna mute this one and give it a different angle. Because what I was going to do, it's hard to orient this because it's such a strange shape. I think this is it, 150. Is that straight on? It's such a confusing shape, as you can see. 145, is that for real? Yeah, it's impossible to orient around correctly. It feels like. But yeah. So this is a reference cube, for lack of a better word. In fact, maybe I should rotate it here. Now I need to rotate all of it. I also don't know what angle this needs to be in order to get it the way that I want it to look. I'm just trying to get one of these sides to be the normal of this triangle that I'm tracing with my mouse to be pointing directly up in the positive Z direction. But as you can see, it's not so intuitive to rotate it. Maybe if I do 45 and 45, see, even that doesn't work. Maybe 45 again. No. It's just a mind-bending shape. Still have no idea what's going on. Maybe 30? Nope. I genuinely don't know what angle it's supposed to be at to get rotated around. Okay. Let me think about this. Whoa, why is it jumping around like that? I mean, that's kind of cool. It's very strange. Huh. It's kind of cool. But I want it to look more like this. This is a node which I've built where it traces every curve with this sort of one end is pointy, the other has this sort of spherical cap. So let's make this a lot slower, maybe 72. And the goal is to get every big triangle traced. And I haven't figured out in what order they need to trace in order for it to look the best. So I'm going to... It's hard because I have to keep track of so many numbers in the corners here. So this triangle which is being traced is corner number 3, 5, and 6. And I built a node which kind of constructs a triangle. So it starts off at corner 3, it goes to corner 6, and then to corner 5, and that's how the line is moving. As you can see, it's just constantly bouncing between these corners. But I might turn this node off and focus on this triangle. And what would be the corners for this one right here? So 0, 5, and 3. 0, 5, 3. So now that one's being traced. The next one would be corner 0, 6, and 5. So 0, 6, 5. Cool. Kind of that gets what I was getting closer. Now I want to complete this triangle here, and that would be corners 0, no, I've already confused myself. This gets so confusing so quick. 0, 6, and 3, I think. No, that's not the right one. This one. 0, 6, and 3. Oh, but now what's happened is that this edge is being traced and there's two at the same time. I'm not making a lot of sense. I actually know what I need to do. I need to change the order, so it needs to go from 0, 3 to 6. 0, 3, 6. Cool. That's nice. So it goes to the center and then back out again. Now the other question for myself is, do I want to trace this triangle? The answer is I don't know. Is there some sort of algorithmic way I can... There's sort of like this pyramid which is being traced out has a clear top and a bottom, but this pyramid could be could have its top and bottom from any one of its corners. So should I try to duplicate the same pyramid but with different corners in focus, and will that look cool? I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. Because I've already got this sort of pattern which is being traced, and I'm afraid I'm just going to end up making the same thing basically, which is already pretty cool, I think. And that's also a nice effect, I think. Yeah. But anyways, there's triangles which are not being traced at this moment, so I think I will focus on this one. This is probably the world's most boring live stream. That's okay. Nobody should have any expectations for entertainment value coming from me when I'm working. I'm trying to think what triangles I need to focus on. So what would be the first triangle here? 7, 4, and 1, I think. Let's just try it. Okay. The next one then will be 7, 2, and 1, I believe. Interesting. I don't think that's what I wanted. I wanted probably 7, 1, and 2. Yeah, that's better. So then probably the next one would be 7, 2, and 4. Okay. Cool, I think. Nice. Now I can join these together. Interesting. That's pretty cool. It's getting the mesmerizing sort of property I was going for. Could there be more edges which are traced? Maybe. What would those edges be, I wonder? Huh, okay. So there's this little triangle which has nothing being traced over it. It might be worth getting those points traced. Yeah. How to do that? I also have to think. I also need to figure out what the indices are for those. But yeah, I think if I made some neat way to trace the inner triangle, then we'll be rock and rollin'. There's a thing I learned called remesh, or a node I learned about. No, dual mesh, that's what it is. And that is gonna create some... Is this gonna do what I think it will? Only one way to find out. Doesn't work, I think. Show me the index point number. Oh, that's because the faces are deleted. Well, what have I done to myself here? I need to know the index number of these corners. Oh, goodness. This is so mind-numbing. Nope, not what I need. Remove from frame. let's add this here. Let's take this there. And then let's bring this here. And that will work, kind of, yeah? Okay. It created the vertices I wanted. But now I've got to combine it with the original, I think. Join geometry. This is getting so convoluted so fast. Okay, and I need to delete the faces. Yeah. Did that even give me the index I need? Yes, I think. Yeah. 9, 10, 12, that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't even need to join the geometry in that case. So I can just delete that and go with these. Getting into visuals, it always leads to Blender. Yeah, Blender is great. And there are resources to help you, of course. If I didn't know about such resources, I would not be doing this right now. The thing which I'm figuring out there are no resources for because it's the sort of thing that I need to figure out myself. And that's what this stream is kind of about, is how the hell do I do what I want? Because no one else has really done the exact thing, if that made any sense. Okay, construct a triangle. We're gonna look at what direction do we want this to go. We already know our vertices, 4, 2, and 1. If we're looking at it from this side, maybe it should be going from 4, 1, 2, maybe. Let's see how that looks. Yep. I see the base being traced. It has sort of like, it almost looks like it's getting smaller when you stare at it from this angle. I don't know why. Maybe just some strange optical illusion. If that starts to come out a bit more, I will be a big fan. So maybe for this we're gonna do, oh, I just disoriented myself in 3D space with this mesh. I don't even know where that point is. 1, 0, and 4 is what I need. 0 and 4. Make this a little cleaner. Can also make separate join geometry nodes for this. Now let's check it out. Cool. Cool. It's getting to be pretty interesting. Okay. If it goes fast, that's gonna be really dope. There's a sort of pattern which I'm working with here. I think it roughly goes like it's gonna require me to trace. Hold up. Am I right about this? I'm so confused. This is so... I know what it will make this easier if I had cut out these, just so I can focus on the small triangles. I don't even know where I started. So I started with this. It was going from 4, 1, 2, back to 4. The second triangle, which I just made, was going from what now? 1, 0, and 4. I don't think there's a relationship between any of these numbers. I'm just trying to figure out what the next triangle I need to draw is. By looking at it. Okay. I think I need to do 0, 4, and 3. Is that what I wanted? I don't know, because I didn't connect it. Okay. Something about that isn't right. For some reason. What did these look like again? The big triangles that I made. There's so many things I have to keep track of in my head to kind of make this work. Which end has... yeah. Those triangles coming together. I mean, this sort of focal point which appeared here. I want it so that when these come together, the small triangle is already visible. That might be a good goal. And so in that case, this triangle right here, if I'm going to start with the top edge of this one. Oh goodness, my brain is totally breaking. So we've got 4, 1, 2. Currently, yeah, that's the way it's going, but so right at about frame 36, I don't even know if the frame number is relevant here. Maybe I should set the duration to 60 frames. That might make things a little more easy to follow. So right at about 30 frames, nope, at 40 frames, these points come together. I want this to be traced already. So if I make it let me just shuffle these numbers around. Maybe 1, 2, and 4 will do it. I think that did the trick. Yeah. Now I have to do it on this side and this side. So if we look at this triangle here, first of all, let me kind of orient myself with the vertices here. So I put it as 1, 2, and 4. So it starts at the bottom right, goes to the top, goes to the bottom left. Now we're going to look at this triangle right here. And that has the vertices of 0, 5, and 1. I think that's literally it. It's 0, 5, and 1. 5, 1. Okay. Yep. I think that's what I wanted. Oh, did the music stop? Let's fix that. And now we need this triangle. Playing around with triangles. Everything is triangles. It need to be 0 to 4. So 4, 3, 0. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what I wanted. That's pretty mesmerizing. That's crazy. Whew, this is gonna get really, really crazy once I complete all the triangles. I feel like something about this is a bit off though, in the way that maybe this small triangle should be traced earlier or later than it currently is. So like maybe at this point? No. Or maybe at this point. Oh, I'm gonna shuffle these numbers around again. So this is gonna be 4, 1, 2, 1, 0, and 5. And this is gonna be 0, 4, and 3. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Just for good measure, I'm also going to try the other variation, which will be 2, 4, and 1. This is going to be 5, 1, and 0. And this is going to be 3, 0, and 4. That might be the better one. Yeah. Cool. So we've got this angle pretty much done. Now we got to do the opposite angle, kind of replicating what I did, whatever the hell I just did with the small triangles. Let me read the comments. Okay. Someone was asking about behind the scenes for the Lovejoy tour. Maybe I'm focused on whatever this is, first of all. And what it's going to be used for, I actually have an idea. It's for a client who I'm currently negotiating with. And I hope that this sort of stuff will be good for her. But I've got to master the math first. You've got to learn before you can work. Is that a profound statement? I don't know. Or maybe you only learn by working. I don't know. So I'm moving stuff around. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I need to make 3 more triangles, and then we've got the trace pattern. So my brain should not fail me now. This is so hard to follow. Somebody who's looking at this is like, what the hell are you doing? Learn by working, I agree. I think that's the only way. I'm a very hands-on learner. Okay. Part of the difficulty I'm having is just figuring out what the node structure of this is going to be. Just because there's so many things I have to keep track of and not get too lost in the sauce. But anyways, focused on this triangle here, and if I remember correctly, on this triangle here, the traces were moving clockwise. I don't know if the other side is going to move clockwise as well, or if it's going to be counterclockwise. That's what I'm not sure about. So, clockwise. Is everything moving clockwise? Here? Yeah. Everything is moving clockwise. Now on this angle, everything is moving counterclockwise. So that's interesting. Okay. So in order to trace this triangle, I need to not actually trace a triangle, I need to trace the triangles adjacent to it. And I'm going to start with this triangle right here. Interestingly, it already has some traces happening from the triangles which are adjacent to that one, which makes things even more confusing. I'm also not sure which direction that triangle needs to be traced. Probably, funnily enough, clockwise. What are the vertices for this triangle? They are, I already disoriented myself. Dang it. 5, 0, and 3, right? 5, 0, 3. Let's see if that worked. So I want this to be kind of like the mirror of the other side. So as it is right now, the bottom edge of this small triangle is being traced in the middle third of the sequence. If the whole sequence is 60 seconds, then it's happening in the middle 20 seconds. Or not seconds, frames. So if this is the start point, where if I can find the moment in time where this is happening on the other side, that would be at 20 seconds. Then that means the triangle is already... Is that the same thing? Is that the same moment? This is so confusing. Oh my god. I'm so lost in the sauce. Oh wow. Okay, let's shuffle these numbers, or shift them. 3, 5, and 0. Okay, I'm gonna shift them again. 0, 3, and 5. I think that was the right order. Good. Being 10 years old and trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. This is very much like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Except I can't solve a Rubik's Cube, and I think I can solve this. I don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube to this day. Never tried, really. Actually, that's a lie. I think I did try. But it's not my thing. But this is for some reason. I think it's because the visual result is cooler, so I'm motivated to actually try and solve it. So this triangle here, 0, 3, and 5. We go from 0, 5, and 3 in a clockwise direction. So now looking at this triangle here, the vertices are 4, 3, and 2. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that it's the correct order. 4, 3, and 2. We've only got 2 more triangles, or 1 more triangle to do. So we've almost solved this Rubik's Cube. Oh wow. This is in the wrong direction. So again, it was 4, 3, 2. It will actually need to be 4, 2, 3. Maybe. Yep. Okay. Now there's just 1 more triangle. And that's 2, 1, and 5. Let's guess that that's also the right order. I'm running out of room with my nodes. What was it? 5, 1, and 2? 5, 1, 2. Okay, that one's way off. I'm gonna shift them around till it looks correct. 1, 5, 2. Yep, that's the one. Yep, that's what we were looking for. Let's make it even faster. Let's make it like 18 frames. Now that shape has got an aura. Nice. I don't think I need to do anything else in terms of tracing this. I hope. It definitely looks cooler from certain angles. Like this one here. And this one here. Yeah, so confusing. What did I want to do even with this? I can make it spin around. I can also do something where I put circles in the same way that I did with this. Hold up. Let's bring all this star back into shape. In the same way that I've put circles here, kind of around the tips of this star, I might try to do a similar thing with this tetrahedron. And align them with the sort of normal from the origin. And also contribute to making some sort of trippy pattern. Yeah. That's the next move. And you're gonna watch me do that. And it's gonna be very entertaining. If anyone is curious, the music which is playing is one of my favorite artists, Fraunhofer Diffraction. they have, yeah, you just gotta listen for yourself. Some of it's like lo-fi house vibes, and the other is just like this, has a crazy aura. So we gotta get the vertices. Oh, I already know what they are. The vertices of the tips of this tetrahedron are pretty easy to locate, because they are associated with this cube right here, I think. Yes. So if I instance a circle on each, oh, sorry if it is hard to hear. I'm gonna find the artist's name on YouTube right now. The artist is named after a science, like a light illusion thing, or thing that light does. I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, copying and pasting the channel. There you go. I listen to YouTube music. I don't know if I'm the weirdo for that, but I also should put this in a group so I don't get too lost again, because this is an eyesore to look at, all of these nodes, these construct triangles. It's simply crazy. Yeah. I might even put this in a frame and call it like small triangles and big triangles. Small triangles. This one should actually be in the frame as well, but I'll put these in their own one first. Big triangles. Nice. This should be in its own frame, or not in a frame at all. Just trying to organize this craziness. So it looks way more appealing, or a little bit more appealing. I'm gonna add a reroute node just to clean this up even more. What did I do? Okay. Now I'm gonna put this all in one group. Beautiful. Wait, why are there two outputs? Whoa. What? What is this? Did I accidentally make a loop? That's weird. Okay. What should I call this group? Tetrahedron triangles, curves. Hedron triangle curves. Yes. Oh, this needs to go there. Cool. So, yeah, about instancing those circles. So there's a thing I can do called instance on points. And if I do mesh to points on this, which is just a cube, oh, I need to take this out of the node group. Probably. That totally broke the animation just now. I wonder what the stream location is set to. I didn't actually think of that. Not that it really matters. But for anyone who's wondering, I am in Utrecht, in the Netherlands. I was just hoping it wasn't set to some, like, random place. I don't even know. Okay. Instance on points. I could, for instance, make a cube on those points. Yep, there we go. And the cube, for example, should be aligned, or the rotation should be the normal of... We're gonna figure it out. I hope somebody understands the vision here. Let's get the position of the points, and if we get like vector rotate, and normalize the position. Do I even need to do that? I don't know. How will I do this? So I want each cube to be pointing outwards. I know there's a video for this, but I feel like I should know this. I've been screwing around with these geometry nodes for a while now, and it should be something intuitive enough at this point, I think. Think you can do it. The vector is the position, and the axis is also the position, and so the rotation, oh, did that do it? I have no clue. I need to instance something other than a cube. Need to try a circle. Or a curved circle. Probably is better. Whoa. Whoa. I forgot that it would already be animated. That's really confusing. Let's do a mesh circle instead. Mesh circle. So something about the alignment is not right. No clue why. Oh, that's because the center is also not correct. No? Nope. Z-axis, is that gonna help? This is so confusing. Now it's not even doing anything. Let's think about this. So if you start at point 0, which has a location of, actually, no, I want to start with this point. Point 7 is positive in all 3 dimensions. So the position is something like 1, 1, 1. I feel like I have to use a normal. I think I know what a normal is. I think. I don't know how to do this. I might need to look this up. I need to find the legend. What? I don't even know how to pronounce him. This guy. This legend. Blender geonodes. What do I need to search up? Instance points. No. Blender geonodes instance. Align instance with face normal. Align instance with face normal. I think that's gonna get me a result that I want.
Hello, welcome to my channel. In this
Thanks.
tutorial, we'll learn how to align instance objects to any mesh's face normals with Blender geometry. When we click on the Modifier Properties tab, we can see the modifier has been added. First of all, let's add mesh to point node. On the to do that, we need to add faces. There we go. Now, we will change the points with the instance object. To do that, we need to add instance on points node. Key and scale
I
down
already
the
get
corner node.
this. I've
Plug the
learned
geometry
nothing new
node to
yet.
instance node. Choose the cone as instance object from the...
Normal, yes.
Also, let's add transfer attribute node.
Transfer attribute, does that even still exist? In Blender 5?
Plug the geometry input node to source node. Switch the float to vector. Plug the normal node to attribute node. We will plug the attribute node to rotation node.
Okay.
But we need to convert the vector data into Euler rotation data. To do this, let's add align Euler to vector node.
Align Euler to vector. That might be the node I need. Come on.
Plug the attribute node to vector node.
This guy can't
And rotation node to rotation.
drag things together properly.
Also, align the local z-axis with
Okay.
the There we go.
Maybe this will inspire the solution. Align Euler to vector. The normal is the vector. The rotation is... Oh my god. Rotations are so confusing. They don't make any sense. And then they do. Align rotation to vector. What's the difference between these two? Maybe it needs to be the position. Whoa. I think I just did it. Oh my gosh. That's it. That was literally all I needed to do. What the hell? That's awesome. If you do mess around, you will find out. That's awesome. Cool. Hell yeah. But of course I want these circles to be a different color or something. So, thank you. It's nice that somebody is actually watching. That's cool. Okay. So, let's give this a separate curve trace and then a separate material. Probably white emission. We're still stuck in this viewer. Okay. The duration or the length will be like this. Radius smaller, maybe like this. Interesting. What if I made the radius like huge? I feel like the position of these could also be like not on the tips but a bit closer. So maybe I can change the scale of the points or the size of the mesh that's being converted to points. So if this design gets used in a job, oh, for sure, I'll definitely be sharing it. This is just one small piece of something bigger, I'm sure. I'm just kind of experimenting still. Let's see, combine, oh, the music stopped. Combine XYZ, no, input, or simply value here. Okay, let me find the music. Haven't listened to this album before, but it's probably good. Oh yeah. Okay. And it needs a bigger radius. So like it's interesting. Maybe let's make it slower so I can kind of figure out what the how these are even spinning, what the orientation is. I could also instance like spheres on the tips, and they could be bouncing or like lighting up every time there's like the trail pings it or something. Interesting. Yeah. One moment. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, this one looks way cooler though. Would be cool to instance a circle that kind of goes around yeah, there's so many options for this design. It just requires imagination. Yeah. And I could rotate this circle. Various angles, probably 45 degrees, right? And I could duplicate this. -45. Yep. Now we're doing something cool. And I could duplicate it again. This time leave it at 0. Yep, we're getting somewhere. And this one will be 90 degrees maybe. Yep. Very cool. Very nice. And then if I get another join geometry node and get another transform geometry, and rotate it like 180 degrees. Yeah, that's what that's cool. That's got an aura. But I want this to be probably separate from, yeah. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm gonna put this one here and this one there. Okay. there's gotta be, I feel like I could do something even more with these circles. So, like I don't have any which are going around, this diagonal, or the other diagonal. There's so many options here. Cool. Nope. I'm so confused. There's 3 circles, but I only have 2 transform geometry nodes. Oh, I see why. Yeah. Cool. So this one is going to be rotated on the x-axis, I think. 45 degrees maybe. Yeah. How are there 2 already? And how are they offset from each other? That's pretty dope. Whoa. Okay, that's pretty mesmerizing. That's cool. What happens if I make the rotation on this? No, that didn't make any sense. Negative 45? Or 0? No. How can I build on this? Does it need anything more? Ah, there's nothing on this axis, I believe. If you look at the view right now, there's no circle which is going on the line which is up and down. So I could probably do another transform geometry thing. This time 180 on the x-axis, maybe? Or 90. Interesting. That's not quite what I'm going for, I think. Whoa. Whoa. We're getting some crazy pattern here. That's crazy. Okay. What else can I do with this? Dang. This is getting really trippy. Which is a very good thing. Negative 90 or 90, which is better? I don't think there's even a difference. Alright, I'm gonna try another transform geometry, join geometry sequence, and maybe we will get something even more interesting. We're going to rotate it this time. Oh boy. This is getting pretty crazy. I have created an atom of some sort. That looks complete to me, almost. What happens if it's 45 degrees? Or 90? Or if I just disregard this? Maybe the animation speed should be faster? Oh, it looks great from this view. That's crazy. With the right music, this is gonna look so good. What happens if I bring back the thing we were working on earlier? That looks even better, almost. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah, it does. I think it does match the music. This artist, I am very inspired by their music. They really have, I mean, there's no better word than aura. Just something about it. I haven't drinking any tea. I had tea this whole time. I'm too locked in. What else could I add? I mean, I could make the solid part of this, well, my computer almost looked like it wanted to crash. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Maybe. It's funny you mentioned that because I might be collaborating with an adjacent artist soon-ish. just messing around with the shading here. Maybe there's something more interesting I can do. Spherical, is that what I want? No. What have I done? Cool. Yeah. I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do. I don't really know what else I can do to this thing. Because I'm sufficiently hypnotized. I mean, I could animate it, that's what I could do. The actual... If I save this as something. No, I'll make a separate collection for this. With a new camera and everything. Call it camera 2. And yeah, bring it here. Okay, so the cool thing I can do with camera animations is we'll just watch and learn, I guess. Whoops. .360. Oh, I need to turn on this. .360 again, probably. Something like that. I don't know, negative 360 maybe. Maybe negative 720. Cool. If you play around with the rotation modes, it changes it up. That one's pretty cool. That one accents it pretty well, I think. Yeah. Dope. I really don't know what I could do else that would change this up. I mean, there's this technically, but I haven't quite figured out How to... Oh! I could rotate this separately as an option. So... I kind of forgot what on earth I was trying to do with all this. Oh yeah, I was trying to rotate the mesh islands. Oh my gosh. But it's not working now for some reason. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. I accidentally made a separate group. Or a separate node group for this. Yeah, I don't know. I think I gotta take a break because I've already hypnotized myself. Thanks for watching, I guess. Geometry nodes are pretty dope, and I'm hoping to take them further in the near future. So, yeah, short stream, but I already worked on this a bunch today. So, yeah, peace out.